all the information that you can get or you try and get, whether in conventional war or against Maoist, will be the same. And therefore, it will be, once you have converted to network centricity, it is possible to fight all types of operation. The next point was about jointness. Well, I just did a, Ganesh is quite right, I just did a project for the Integrated Defense Staff on jointness. Gentlemen, our jointness is pathetic, and you better be careful, because you'll embarrass yourselves. When I say you now, because I'm out of service for the last 8 years, you'll embarrass yourselves if you don't take measures to ensure that you are joint, because the type of operations, I've already explained that most of the type of operations would be counter-terrorism, counter-insurgencies, out-of-area operations, force projections. All these operations require complete jointness, either between the Army and the Air Force or between all three. And as some of you brought out this morning, in some cases you will require at the national level the jointness. So therefore, jointness is something which is vital for future operations. And if we don't take heed, if we are not serious about it, you will embarrass yourselves. Perhaps to the extent as you embarrassed yourselves in 1962. Okay, thank you.
I would like to just add something.
No, ask a question now. Ask a.
I think it is important. Kindly allow me.
Please.
What Mr. Jayanta said, I am just adding to that. On jointness, first intent has to be there. With due apologies, let me explain or mention it. If that intent is missing, as General Kapoor said very rightly, in future war or operation, whatever name you give it, jointness will be the key to success. If jihadis take over the missiles in Pakistan or nuclear set, it is your submarines only which will be, because Pakistan army will be dispersing them in the garb of non-state actors. It is our submarines which will be taking action, or your long-range aircraft or UAV, whatever is there. So Air Marshal Dinesh, I just want to make a point, whether equipment is 25 years or not old, we have got to do something, and there is no better way from it.
Thank you, thank you. Right, next question. Yeah, Ramsey.
We have many speakers in the afternoon session, and also in the forenoon section there was this reference of induction of POTS technology. Now, I just want Mr. Harvinder or RF to kindly comment on this. The cost benefit of POTS technology vis-a-vis its penalty for the cyber security, as also its implications for the indigenous R&D efforts.
I have a similar question.
Yeah, Gurmeet.
Thank you, sir. My question is also on thoughts to Commander RF Khan. While I agree with you that it is commercially more cost effective to go in for cost, also upgradability is a major advantage. But like it was just mentioned, what about the disadvantages of security and ruggedization? In ruggedization, you had one point, minus 40 degrees temperatures in J&K. That's not the only thing. Ruggedization essentially to us means that the system is bullet proof or soldier proof, as we call it. You should be able to chuck it from a moving vehicle and it should not be broken up or disrupted. It continues to function. And splinter proof to some extent, not artillery shell or something, but some small splinter. So those issues are there. And also, it's easy to say that buy off the shelf. What about integration? For various systems, I will not like to name any of them, but we have some ongoing RFPs out there in the market. But for some of those systems, do we really have the in-house integral capability to integrate the system? Because, for example, if you buy a router from XYZ, you can buy a commercial off-the-shelf router, or you can buy it from a company, form a joint venture with it, which supplies not only various technologies, which are proprietary technologies, but also integrates the system for you. What about those aspects? What technologies are deficient in these advantages which I have mentioned?
So, from the IT security aspect, I 100% agree to you. COTS technology is not the approach. My stress was more from an architecture's perspective than trying to say that you have bought IT securities in silos, but the times are going to be far more complex. You will see much complex challenges, and instead of looking at silos, we should look at an architectural approach. And definitely, I agree with you that COTS may not be the best approach as far as the IT security is concerned.
No, I agree with you completely that the COTS cannot be used in the same fashion in the defense environment. I never said that the COTS completely can be used, but we can leverage the advantage of COTS technology to meet the defense requirement. It has to be definitely customized to your requirement. What I had given it is just an example. Definitely, it has to be customized to meet but the thing is that the basic technology for which the huge R&D has already been gone into, why not use this rather than, reinventing it for using the defense, purposes. There are a lot of technologies which are exclusively used for the defense purposes. R&D is not going on, roadmaps are not there because of the simple reason, as you see that, that's 20 years back or 25 years back, government used to invest a lot of money, lot of expenditure used to be on defense, but now of late you have seen it's a buzzword in UNO that who is cutting the defense budget, who is cutting the defense. Now if you're cutting the defense budget, definitely you are cutting down somewhere on the R&D efforts also which are going into the defense, developing the defense related technology. Now whereas the other side, then communication, I'm talking about communication, I'm not talking about the IT or other things. The communication, the other side, the huge amount of investment is going on in R&D. Technologies are being developed. The future-proof technologies are coming up, which, I'll give you an example. The 2G, 3G, and LTE. Now, there is just a delta change in the network which allows operator to migrate to the next technology. Whereas, if you have the proprietary equipment, as you brought out, the proprietary equipment, or any other particular technology, if you want to change it, now either you have to go to the particular vendor to change it, or you have to completely discard it and adopt the new one. Whereas with COTS technology, you have the advantage of continuing further on the roadmap which is being developed somewhere else. Yes, of course, adaptability, I never said that adaptability is not required. Definitely it has to be adaptable, it has to be customized to meet the defense requirement. As you said, temperature, and then ruggedization, and then waterproof, and other things, all those things. And then, of course, when we say that vibration and other things, it has to be fit into that. But when I say technology, it's a core technology of that particular communication system. That can be adopted from the civil world.
I think the important issue in this is that because security in the society is becoming so important that most of the technologies that you are adopting in the military are already available in the civil world. So while I agree with you that there is a requirement of ruggedization, there is a requirement of ensuring that it meets the requirements of the armed forces, yet these technologies are very much available in the civil world. In fact, very interestingly, last night there was some movie on the Star movies. Did you see that? It was how the US president was assassinated by just a group of 2 people with 3 more hired. 5 people had the entire National Security Agency of the United States and their FBI on the run. And they were operating on smartphones, which was so smart that he was even directing the anti-material rifle half a kilometer away to the president's chest when he was standing and addressing. So, of course, I mean, this is a movie, but the fact remains that this movie is based on the type of technologies that are going to be available to any civilian out in the civil street. So we are looking at a different world. Perhaps the Mahabharata of tomorrow will not be fought on the battlefields. It will be fought in the cyber domain. It will be fought in other manners other than what we have thought earlier.
Precisely for that reason I addressed my... Sorry. Precisely for that reason I addressed my question or remarks to Harvinder, because he said the other day he had an occasion to visit army headquarters, and he asked a very important question, or rather innocuous question, as to whether they would know what are the equipment held with them. And you said that you could take 10 minutes, or you could even take 10 months, you will not get to know what are your equipment and system holding that. It was in that context that my question was the COTS technology, its induction, cost benefit as vis-a-vis the applications for the cyber security.
Yeah, so precisely what I was trying to say was the bottom line around identity profiling and access based on identity is what we are coming from a COTS perspective. But when we look at the defense networks, these are unique. The kind of connectivities are built within these networks are unique. So a lot of customization goes there. And in situations where we'll have extreme expectations, like a situation in a war, then what are the fallback strategies? What is my second tier to the architecture? And those things will be far, far different. And that kind of investment
10
you don't
minutes
see.
One
for questions and answers. So maybe at the rate at which you are going, not more than 2 more questions.
The question goes to Mr. Harvinder.
Yeah.
You mentioned about Stuxnet malware.
Yes, I did.
That it was customized. We all know it is a case study in itself. The biggest one in malware, Stuxnet of a kind. So it was customized for Siemens hardware.
Correct.
Now again, this dates back to about a year back, Stuxnet, when it was discovered.
Absolutely.
Now again, some time back, it was some rootkit virus being found in the boot sector of this Seagate hard disk.
Yes.
Then again, 2 years back, the case pertains to Cisco. That's why I thought I must ask you. That was about NIMDA.
NIMDA virus, correct.
Yeah, NIMDA virus. So what was the actual thing? How did it happen? And how did Cisco handle it? And what did you do to all the routers which were actually sold and distributed then?
Okay, so at Cisco, what we have, we call it a Security Intelligence Operations Center. It is one of the largest facility owned by an OEM in that space. What we do and what we see as traffic globally is overwhelming in size and volumes and capacity. Now, I would not know specifically what Cisco did there because I was not from the engineering side, but why I use that example was for 2 reasons. One, that equipment which was running the application from Siemens, one was not part of the internet connectivity. So very strangely, somebody was able to either do social engineering or was able to transmit that malware to that equipment in a very smart manner. Now, when we further investigated the entire issue, 60% of the infection of that virus was concentrated to the country only. It was not an open-ended, so it was a pointed attack. The conclusion I was trying to draw out of that was that in cyber warfare, we have seen generations changing. There were times when there were viruses either there to create disruptive behavior of communication channel, choke and bring down, or just create havoc. Today we are seeing activities which are pointed, and these could be funded, these could be motivated either politically or commercially. So even if you very safely assume that you are in a network which is not exposed to internet, the very fact that, one, you don't know which are the assets on the network, who are using it, and the fact that the user may not be even educated enough to know that if he has used that data card or your LAN cable to an internet machine, he could have brought an infection to the network. So the relevance for us from the point that even isolated networks has threat perceptions built around it, and not neglecting the fact that Army would have a separate network for internet. The security has to be pervasive in that manner.
Given that scenario, then how are you as your own security systems, cyber security systems, are able to ensure this kind of attack, if somebody is able to sneak in the software and perch it on the internal system, then can you assure the trust out of this kind of happening?
Okay. So obviously, none of the organizations and technologies have that 100% certificate ready for any conversation. But a good testament is the overall experience of the organization and track record. What Cisco does is Cisco visualizes a million attack at any given point of time.